Hello and welcome to your Saturday morning chatty scent corner, where we talk about what's new, what's coming, and what we really need to have a good chat about. So today, of course, we are going to be talking about quite the number of fragrances. Some of them have already been launched and others are about to be released. So I'm going to go ahead, of course, and share with you, some fragrances that have really piqued my interest and that I think you may be interested in hearing about. I also have for you 3 first impressions. 2 of them are from recently launched, I think, Middle Eastern fragrances. Yeah, I think that they have both been launched. And then another one is a Western niche fragrance that the fragrance house that it's from, I had never even heard of. So I've done some of my homework and I just want to give you my first impression. But of course, before we jump into all that, we are going to go ahead and start with our topic of the day, or our tea. And today it's a very interesting and fun topic. So let's go ahead and jump right in because we have quite a bit to cover. But before we do so, if this is your first time here, I'm Arahi and I'm your fragrance concierge because I'm totally committed to creating the best fragrance experience for you. I upload videos multiple times a week, and on this channel, we love to talk about all types of fragrances. So if that sounds like the type of content that you're interested in and like a good plan, then please consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget, leave a comment. Let's go, fam. All right, so before we get started, I wanted to take a moment to say thank you. So in case you missed Middle Eastern Thursday, this past Thursday, I did share with the fam that, we have finally made it to 20K. So we are a 20K strong fam. And of course, every time we reach a milestone, we do celebrate. And while I know that you don't need me to give you a gift or buy you anything or do anything for you, I really do want to share and do something special in order to celebrate this milestone that you have helped me achieve. I am very, very thankful, and I am looking to open the giveaway for it to be worldwide. I don't just want it to be, about the US. And I know we've had challenges in the past when I'm trying to ship outside of the US. But I'm trying to see if there's other things that I can do in the way of a giveaway that will allow me to reach fam members all over the world, because it's only right and fair. But anyway, while that all happens, just keep in mind that I will be circling back as soon as I sort some things out, and I will, of course, inform you what we're going to do to celebrate our 20K. What kind of giveaway are we doing this time? But until then, I do want to take a moment to thank you so much for choosing to be with me on this journey. I can't thank you enough. And while numbers mean something to us, the most important thing for me is our fam. There is nothing better for me than to have a group where I can come together and we can discuss our passion for fragrances with no judging, no being disrespectful, just having a relaxed and good time and enjoying what we love, which are fragrances. I also enjoy when in the comment section we really don't agree on something and we kind of get into it. I really enjoy all of that because all of it is good for our fam. So I just wanted to take a moment to tell you that I am very, very thankful. I am really, really excited, and I'm looking forward to our fam growing more and more and more. But I do have to thank you for being here with me and helping me achieve this tremendous milestone. So thank you. All right. So, before we jump into the topic or tea of the day, so I'm sure you guys have noticed that I'm doing my little side braid. If you missed one of my videos this week, I can't even remember which video it was that it was so hot that I just braided my hair to the side and called it a day. Well, I did the same today, and I'm very, very casual because I'm sure you realize this is like a beach top, but it is so hot and I didn't want to necessarily wear a tank top. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to wear this beach top because it looks kind of cute. It's white and it looks like it belongs on a very hot summer day. So that is what we're doing today. But let's go ahead and start with our topic or tea of the day. So today we are going to talk about what are those notes that we really do not like in fragrances, right? And I did an entire search and I did some analysis and found out what are the top notes that most fragrance lovers really do not enjoy. So I'm going to share them with you. So the first one is Civet and Castoreum. And the reason that most people do not like those notes, it's because they give the fragrance like an animalic, musky, and reminiscent of bodily odors, often described as dirty or feral. Like it makes you smell dirty, like with a body odor. If you haven't taken a shower like in a couple of days, that's what people say about Civet and Castoreum. Now, the next one that most people do not like, most fragrance lovers do not like, is cologne. Why do they not like that note? Well, because it has like a synthetic sea breeze note that can smell metallic, fishy, or overly artificial. Now, I will tell you, I have picked up on that fishy and overly artificial quality in multiple fragrances on my journey. And typically, they do have a very marine quality or marine presence to them. But it smells like, I would describe it like the scent of sardines, and not fresh sardines, but that is like how I get it. But that is exactly what they're referring to here. Now, the third note, now this one, I must say, this one really surprised me. But the third note that most fragrance lovers do not enjoy is the note of cucumber. And that one is associated with cleaning products or traumatic scent memories. That is what cucumber does. But I don't know, because I have a couple of fragrances that do have cucumber, and I've encountered not a lot, but some fragrances with a note of cucumber, and never dominant, by the way, but just present. And I really don't get cleaning products, but I can understand how that may be the case. But anyway, that is definitely a note that most fragrance lovers do not enjoy. Next, we have, are you ready? Because this is the one that I was like, oh wow, wait till I share that one with the fam. So the next one is the note of honey. Now, you and I have discussed the note of honey here on the channel so many times. We have talked about how I really believe that it's not easy to get a honey note done right in a fragrance. Well, it seems to be that most people really do not enjoy the note of honey, because they say that it can feel sticky, cloying, or overly sweet, like syrup on skin. So go figure. But I kind of agree. But sometimes, to me also, the honey can have like a bit of like an animalic quality. Have you ever picked up on that? Because I certainly have. The next note, and this one really did surprise me, because this is a note that I really enjoy. So the next note is gardenia. Yes, the floral, like the flower, gardenia. And they say that it is overpowering and waxy most of the time. And some say it smells like, are you ready? Some say it smells like old-fashioned or funeral-like. I don't know, but I don't have a fragrance that has the note of gardenia and that smells old-fashioned or like a funeral. I mean, I can understand how that may be the case in some fragrances, but I really have never really had a fragrance that I wear and I kind of get the vibe that it's like a funeral. Have you experienced that with gardenia? But anyway. Then the next one is, and this one did not surprise me because we talk about this one in every review, and this one is heavy musk. So in small doses, it's sensual, but too much can be suffocating or nauseating. Now, I will admit, I do love a good musk fragrance, and you guys know that, but if the musk is animalic or too animalic, like it can be a bit much and it can be kind of nauseating, it can be very unpleasant, it can be obnoxious, and we've had that discussion too. But I try to steer clear from fragrances that have a very animalic musk. But definitely that is a note that most fragrance lovers do not enjoy. And then the next one and last one, and this one really did not surprise me, because when a fragrance has the note of lemon and or orange, there is always some subset of the fam that tells me that it is sharp and acidic, often linked to cleaning products or unpleasant memories. I don't know about the unpleasant memories part, but I do get a lot of feedback from the fam on fragrances where, you guys say that it kind of smells like cleaning product. And it's because of those citrusy notes, not zesty necessarily, but that lemon and orange note, when done very citrusy and very dominant, especially in the opening of a fragrance, it tends to have that, cleaning product vibe or accord or scent that some of you really do not enjoy. Okay, so today's topic is, I have shared with you all of those notes which I found that most fragrance lovers really don't enjoy. So my question to you is, what are your top 3 notes? If you only have one that you really, really don't enjoy, that's fine. But if you have 2, that's good too. Or 3, no more than 3. But what are your top 3 notes that you really do not enjoy? They're like non-negotiables. Like if I bring you a fragrance, or if you go and you sniff a fragrance somewhere, or if you try a fragrance and one of those notes are present, it's like a non-negotiable. You are not going to like it no matter what. So what are those notes? Because I am very, very curious. I really don't have a lot of notes that I feel that way about. I do have notes that whenever I see them, I'm cautious, because I know that I do not tend to really react too well to them. And I've shared those with you in the past. But definitely, I do have 2 to 3 notes. I don't have more than 3 notes, but I do have a couple of notes where that is definitely the case. But I am very, very curious to know, what are your notes? Because I'm always sharing the notes that really don't work for me. What are your notes? Okay, so I did scoot over because, of course, we are going to start with these fragrances. And the first one that I have today is from Christian Louboutin. Yes, we have yet another Fetiche fragrance. That whole collection where we have Fetiche Rose and Fetiche Cure. And now we have Lavande Fetiche, and that's what they call it. Not Fetiche Lavanda. No, it's Lavande Fetiche, right? And this is what Christian Louboutin has to say about this fragrance. But even before we start with that, isn't this an exquisitely beautiful bottle? And it does have that color of lavande for sure. So from the delicate grace of a ballerina to the sensual power of leather pumps. Okay, stop right there. So from the delicate grace of a ballerina to the sensual power of leather pumps. Like, that's a big gap, right? But anyway, Lavande Fetiche, bold and unexpected, pairs the aromatic sophistication of lavender with the sensuality of leather. An olfactory echo to the rebellious energy of studded sneakers. I don't know. I think like we're all over the place here. One minute we're talking about the ballerina slippers, and another minute we're talking about the sneakers. I guess like the common ground is the leather. Anyway, striking a perfect balance between casual irreverence and Parisian sophistication, Lavande Fetiche echoes the spirit of a modern silhouette, tailored yet relaxed, refined with effortless ease. All right, so, okay, and now the most curious part about this fragrance is that I could only, no matter where I looked, I could only find 2 notes, and the notes are lavender and leather, and that's it. So this is going to be, I think this is going to be a very lavender dominant fragrance, judging from the bottle, judging from the notes. And then to add the note of leather, I don't know, that to me is giving me heavy leaning to the masculine side. What do you think? Do you think that this is a fragrance that's going to be like unisex, or maybe even leaning a little bit to the feminine side? Or do you, like me, think that this is going to be really masculine? And you know that I am all about unisex fragrances, but I just have a feeling that those 2 notes, those 2 notes are really something. So let's see what we get. More to come. I can tell you, I can promise you that I'm not going to blind buy this fragrance. I'm probably going to get myself a sample, better yet, a decant. And if I do, I will bring it to a chatty scent corner and give you a first impression. All right, so the next fragrance that I have for you is a new launch from Nishane. And this has been a while since I've seen and I've been really interested in a new launch. And this one is called Oudous Cerasus, right? And it is an extrait de parfum. Now, this fragrance has as a perfumer Jordi Fernandez, and you guys know how I love Jordi Fernandez creations. I just absolutely love how he develops fragrances, their intensity, the mix of different notes and accords. I just think he is just incredible. And lately, he has been releasing quite the number of fragrances that I just happen to fall in love with. But this fragrance, okay, let's talk about the notes of this one. So let me start by reading to you what Nishane has to say about this fragrance. So if you feel the pulse of a solitary star, it's fire tempered by a whisper of cherry sweetness. That is what you will find in this fragrance. We were delighted to collaborate again with Jordi for this fragrance. So here are the notes. At the top, we have cherry, pomelo, Italian mandarin. At the heart, we have honeycomb accord, Spanish cistus, and mahonial. And at the base, we have Indonesian patchouli, oud and oud accord, and akigala wood. Now, here's the thing. So I'm very happy that now we have a Nishane cherry fragrance, because at least I, in my collection of Nishane fragrances, I do not have a cherry fragrance, a cherry-centric fragrance that I can recall. So I'm excited. But I have told you before that I'm a little bit tired of cherry fragrances. Like, I'm all cherried out. We've had so many cherry fragrances launch in the last, I would say, 2 to 3 years that I'm like a little bit cherried out. But I may have to get my nose on this one because, number one, it's Nishane, and their creations I typically absolutely love, and they're so intense and just incredible. And then it's Jordi Fernandez, and it's not that I don't like the note of cherry. I just hope that they do it, that they give it a different spin, that it's not the same that we've been getting with other fragrances or too similar to other fragrances, right? So I can tell you, I am not going to blind buy this one, but I am certainly going to try and get myself a sample, and better yet, a decant. But look at this bottle. Isn't that like a beautiful bottle? Like, that makes you want to blind buy it. It's just so beautiful, but we're not going to do that. We are not going to do that. All right, moving on. So I forgot to tell you that Nishane fragrance is already available at Selfridges. I'm just waiting for samples and or decants to be available somewhere. But the next one that I have for you is from Juliette Has a Gun. Now, Juliette Has a Gun did launch one fragrance this year, and I did pick it up, the Miami, I think it was Miami Shake. I think it was called Miami Shake, but it was Miami something. And it comes in that beautiful bottle that has like an ombre effect, and it's like blue pink. Very, very nice. Now, I have not even reviewed that fragrance here on the channel. I don't recall reviewing it for you, because while I like it, it's not really something that I'm really loving. It's just like a very strong like. It's like a nice gourmand, but it's not like I'm super impressed by it. But anyway, so this new fragrance from Juliette is called Powder Love, and this is what they have to say. So Powder Love is positioned as a soft fragrance that balances sweetness with comfort. Inspired by a dreamlike image of sugar clouds and powdered skin, the composition blends airy gourmand notes with a musky finish. I don't know, that sounds very fluffy, very airy, and if you look at the picture, the marketing materials, it's a huge marshmallow, right? So I guess this is their take on a nice, fluffy, sweet, beautiful marshmallow fragrance. I am kind of excited about that one. Had you heard about this one? Does that like pique your interest? Are you interested in any way in that fragrance? But better yet, wait until I share the notes with you, because the notes are the ones that immediately convinced me, right? So at the top, we have cotton candy and marshmallow. At the heart, we have orange blossom and sugared almond. And at the base, we have tonka bean, ambroxan, and powdery musk. Now, for those fan members that are sensitive to ambroxan, you already heard it. It has ambroxan, so this is not for you. I am so sorry, but I am absolutely loving these notes. There's so many notes here that I really enjoy. Cotton candy, right? Oh my goodness, if they get it right, that's going to be beautiful. Cotton candy, I'm loving the marshmallow, loving the orange blossom, tonka bean on a base of musk, and most likely it's not going to be animalic. It's going to be smooth. So this is sounding really, really good to me, like a fluffy, gourmandish, very gourmand, fragrance, definitely. So I'm very excited for it. And it's supposed to launch in September of this year. So I may blind buy that one. I don't know. I'm going to try and see if Sephora has it and I can go sniff it and then make a decision from there. But if they don't have it, I may just, take the leap and do a blind buy. All right, so the next fragrance that I have for you, you guys are not going to believe this, okay? Because how many more new Bond number 9 releases are we going to have this year? So right here, you can see there's 2 fragrances that I picked up this year. One is Greenpoint and the other one is New York Secret Gardens. And you can see them both right there. So Greenpoint is the green bottle and New York Secret Gardens is the white one that's behind it. And I love both of those fragrances, but how many more do we need from Bond number 9? And last year they launched, I don't know, it was maybe like 4 or 5 or something like that, if I recall correctly. So now we have yet another Bond number 9. But the thing about this one is that, typically Bond number 9 fragrances are inspired, by a specific neighborhood or area of New York. But this one that's being launched is inspired by the city of New York itself. And they do not have any other fragrance that has been inspired by the complete city of New York. So I am very curious. But as a Bond number 9 collector, this may be a fragrance that is a collector's must, right? Because of what it symbolizes, right? It's all about the entire city of New York. So this one is called, and listen to this name, right? So this is Bond number 9, New York Chic, right? And like if you've spent any amount of time in New York, when you go out at night and you get dressed, you're going to the theater, you're going to a nice dinner, or you're just having a casual evening out and you're walking down the streets of New York, it's a very chic experience, right? So this one is described as a layered gourmand, by the way. So this is going to be a gourmand. I really don't know what layered gourmand is, and I didn't have time to do some research around it, but it is a gourmand. And it says here that it's paying tribute to the city that never sleeps with a new scent that captures the glamour, grit, and undeniable style of New York. That sounds like a fragrance that a Bond number 9 collector must have. That's just my opinion. I can tell you that one is coming to my collection. I just hope that, honestly, that the scent makes justice to the vision behind this, because it's a beautiful vision and I hope the scent does not disappoint. So they also say that this fragrance can be envisioned as a love letter to the city's innate sophistication and forward-thinking spirit. That is so, so true, because there is an innate sophistication to the city of New York. Yes, there is. And definitely a forward-thinking spirit. So I totally agree. I tell you, I am loving the entire vision and the concept and even the bottle. The bottle is very streamlined, not with a whole bunch of frou-frous, just like New York. It doesn't need all that because it is what it is, right? So, but let me share with you the notes. So at the top, we have Gabbana, heliotrope, and tobacco leaf. In the mid, we have Immortelle for Life LMR, tuberose, and cognac accord. And at the base, we have patchouli, tobacco leaf, musk, and oud. Now, let me tell you, what do I think that this is going to be a fragrance that's going to lean to the masculine side? I don't think so, because while the notes do give me like there's a chance, Arahi, that this may lean to the masculine side, but then because the fragrance is supposed to be inspired by the entire city of New York, and it is such an iconic launch because of the vision behind it, I don't think that they would have this fragrance lean heavy to the masculine side. That would just not make sense to me, but I could be totally wrong, because looking at these notes now, if you've been with me for any amount of time, you know that Gabbana and I don't always get along. That is one of those notes, by the way, that I don't know. It really depends on what notes it's combined with, the accords that come from it. I don't know, but Gabbana and I don't always get along, right? Now, in addition to that, we have tobacco leaf. But we not only have tobacco leaf, we have tobacco leaf twice. We have it in the opening of the fragrance and we have it at the dry down. Like, why so much tobacco leaf, right? I just hope that that is not like a tobacco leaf that's dry and very, very intense. I don't know. And then you have other, notes that really call for concern, because we're talking now about patchouli, oud, tobacco leaf, tuberose, which if done intense combined with those notes, it can just be like totally left, totally wrong, right? But here's what I have to say. This is a fragrance that's going to be launched September 15th. It will be available at Bond number 9 and in boutiques around, the US, and it's going to also be at Neiman Marcus. I am going to see if there's any way that I can get my nose on it before I pick it up, but I just know myself, and I know that this bottle is really, really important. Like, this specific one is very important because of the vision and the concept behind it. So I may just have to, if it's too masculine leaning, my husband will take it, and he loves Bond number 9 too, so we'll be okay. But I have to tell you, this to me is not a safe blind buy whatsoever, because when you tell me tobacco leaf, Gabbana, tuberose, oud, patchouli, and then it all depends on how they do the musk. I hope that the musk is not a tad animalic too, because then that would be like the last drop for me. But anyway, more to come, and moving on. All right, so the next fragrance is a designer fragrance, and this is from Dolce & Gabbana, and this one is Velvet Honey Santal. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, just the name of alone really piqued my interest, because velvet, honey, and santal. And I'm going to share the notes, but so they say that this is a gourmand, amber, and woody fragrance. I have to tell you, all of these launches obviously are preparing us for the fall and winter season for sure. But this sounds very, very, very interesting to me. And it says here, discover the new Honey Santal by Dolce & Gabbana, a new addition to the Velvet collection. And as you can see from the bottle, this is part of the Velvet collection, which is a very, very nice collection. The fragrances are definitely top tier in this collection. Not that I think that other Dolce & Gabbana fragrances are not very nice. Yes, they are. I own quite the number of them, but the Velvet collection is rather special. Have you tried any of the Velvet collection fragrances? All right, so this is what they have to say about this fragrance. The sunny and sensual Velvet Honey Santal is a radiant composition that pays homage to Sicilian honey, the legendary nectar of the gods. Now, let's talk about this, okay? Because you guys know how I feel about the note of honey. The note of, whenever I see honey in a fragrance, and it's a pricey fragrance, I do not blind buy. I definitely order myself a sample and or a decant, because I need to try it on skin, because honey is one of those notes that on paper can give you one thing and on skin can give you something else. And the honey can also be done a tad animalic. And when it's done a tad animalic, I really do not tend to like it, because it can be a bit much for me. I also don't like a honey note that is super sweet. So I could just go on and on and on. So as you can tell, this is going to have to be a fragrance that I'm going to have to try, because I'm not willing to just blind buy it. And the only notes that they have disclosed for this fragrance are honey, amber, and sandalwood. And I have to tell you that if those three notes are done right, and I have a feeling that in this line, being from this line, from the Velvet collection, I would think that it's going to be done right. But those three notes are beautiful if done right. Like a blend with those three notes is so, so worth it, in my opinion. But I'm still going to try and get myself a sample because we are trying to not blind buy during 2025. Remember that that's like our goal, to at least minimize the blind buying. But anyway, moving on. All right, so the next fragrance and the last one before I go into the first impressions is YSL Libre Vanille Couture. And I could not remember if I had already shared this with you because I've known about this for several weeks now, and I have been already stalking and trying to figure out when it will be launched. So if any of you know when this is supposed to be launched and where, please let us know because I'm really curious because I really want this one. So they say about this one that this is a decadently sensual reinterpretation of Libre, radiating gold inside and out, a reflection of the Libre woman own radiant spirit. That is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. But you know what? Typically with Libre fragrances, they have a vision and a concept behind it that is quite nice and beautiful. And that really does align with the fragrance. Like when you try the fragrance, like the vision and the concept does align with the scent of the fragrance, if you know what I mean. But this one, this bottle, I mean, come on. Just the bottle alone makes us want to go and pick it up right now, right? So yeah. So the notes that have been disclosed for this one are orange blossom and lavender at the top, black bourbon vanilla caviar at the heart, and at the base, rum absolute. That is all that I have. I don't have any other notes for it. But they also said about this fragrance that for her, freedom is gold. She lives and breathes her freedom, igniting her own destiny, defining her own rules. I am loving this concept. I am loving this fragrance. I think that this is going to be incredible. I think that just the experience of holding that bottle and sniffing this beautiful scent, because when you talk to me about orange blossom at the top and lavender, I love that combination. That is a beautiful combination. And then of course, with the vanilla, it's probably going to be loaded with vanilla and then a little bit boozy. The whole thing is just really captivating for me. Have you heard about it? Are you interested? Is the bottle making you want to pick it up, or more of the scent? Do you own any of the other Libre flankers? How do you feel about this? Because this is, I don't even know number what. There's been so many of them. But anyway, moving on. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with a fragrance, and let me go ahead and remove my little fingerprints from it, that was sent to me in PR. And this is a Western niche fragrance, and this is from the Different Company, and this is Love is Coming chapter 2. And I'm trying to figure out like what's the front of this bottle, and I hope I did remove all of my fingerprints. But see, here it says Love is Coming chapter 2, so I'm assuming that that is the front of the bottle. But very, very nice, very different, very sleek. So let me go ahead and spray it, and I'm going to share with you the notes that I pulled up here. Now, this is truly a first impression. I received this one a little bit ago, and it's just been sitting there waiting for me to unbox it and try it. Very, very nice sprayer. Ooh, wow, wow. This is, I'm loving this. There's a touch of greenness here. It is very, very aromatic. It is also herbal. This is very different. Have you tried this fragrance? Wow, this is very different. And then the name of this one is Love is Coming chapter 2. So I wonder, was there a chapter 1 and I just missed out on it completely? Ooh, I am really loving this. Okay, let me put the cap back on. And at the risk of having my fingerprints all over it, I do want to show you this bottle because it is very, very nice. Look at that. In the front there, it has like the name and other information. Look at the cap. And then it has that ombre effect on the bottle itself. Very, very nicely done. Very exquisitely done. So let me go ahead and share with you the notes. So at the top, it has tomato, blackcurrant, and green pepper. And I pick up definitely on the tomato. and on the green pepper. This fragrance is very herbal. It is a touch green, not very green, but it is very, very aromatic and herbal to my nose, like immediately, but in the best way possible. Wow. Okay. So at the top, it has tomato, blackcurrant, and green pepper. At the heart, it has rose, geranium, and lavender. And at the base, it has musk, amberwood, and sandalwood. It is sweet, but not very sweet. It does open a little bit fresh. I could swear that there are some spicy notes in the opening because I am getting a tad of a fresh, spicy effect also. But all in all, this fragrance right now to me is more about that aromatic and herbal quality, which now that I read the notes, it totally explains it. Because when I first sniffed it, it was like, woo, definitely took me for a spin. But absolutely, really, really loving how this opens. I have to try it on skin and see what I get from it. Had you heard of this fragrance? I haven't heard anybody talk about this. I'm sure someone has. I've just missed it. But if you know anything about this fragrance, can you please let us know? All right, so this next one is from Paris Corner, and they sent it to me a while back, and I just didn't know when is it that I was supposed to share it. I don't even know if it's launched. I hope so. I am sharing it today because I'm ready now to review it. I have not tested it, so I'm going to start testing. And today I do want to give you my first impression, though. I did spray it out when I received it, as I always do with affordable Middle Eastern fragrances, and I did get a whiff of it, but not really how I'm going to like sniff it today. So this one is called Fig Hug, and it is from Paris Corner. And look at this beautiful bottle. So this is really called Perseviron Fig Hug, right? Because you may recall that a couple of weeks ago here on the Chatty Scent Corner, I shared with you another Perseviron that came in like a burnt orange kind of bottle. And if I recall correctly, that one reminded me of Altair, I think it was. Anyway, but there's another Perseviron. Now this one I checked directly with Paris Corner, and it has allegedly not been inspired by anything. This is truly a standalone creation. So I'm so excited. Let's go ahead and spray it and see what we get from it. And I'm going to share the notes with you. Oh my goodness, look at that sprayer. Oh, wow. Oof. Oh. Okay, you guys know that I'm in my fig era, right? Like every week I bring you some sort of fig-centric fragrance, right? This, oh, wow. And you know what's really impressing me? Like I did receive it several weeks ago and things like that, and I did spray it out, but it's only been weeks. It hasn't been like months, and it's just already doing so well. Because when I tell you, this is a fig bomb. You need to love the note of fig in order to enjoy this one. But let me go ahead and share with you the notes, because I could just be wow. I could just be sniffing it and sniffing it. So at the top we have fig, lemon, and pink pepper. At the heart we have jasmine, rose, and whipped cream. And at the base we have fig milk, white musk, and cedarwood. And I have to tell you, so from sniffing this fragrance, I'm getting a fruity and citrusy opening. I am getting some spices, but I can't clearly say that I'm picking up on a specific spice. It is a tad lactonic, like a tiny bit lactonic. There is a bit of a floral presence here, but I don't know what they are. It's just too soon and too fast, but I'm just giving you quickly what I'm picking up as soon as I sniff it. But the star of this fragrance is the fig, beyond a shadow of a doubt. So the name Fig Hug is perfect for this fragrance because that's really what it is. It's a big hug from like a fig, for sure. I am so impressed with this. Oh gosh, if the Paris Corner team is watching, thank you so much for sending me this. All right, so the next and last fragrance that I have for you, and let me remove my fingerprints, even though this is fresh out of the box. I just opened it right before filming this video because I've been so looking forward to trying this one. So this one is from AFNAN, and this is 9 PM Elixir. And look at this gorgeous, when I tell you absolutely beautiful, stunning bottle. Wow, absolutely loving it. Look at that. Wow, beautiful. Okay, so you guys know that I am a serious fan of all of the 9 collection from AFNAN. I don't care if it's designed for the females or designed for the gents. I seem to love it all. And my favorite of all of them, I love the 9 a.m. one, you know, the one in the pink bottle. But my favorite to date is 9 p.m. Rebel, which I did a dedicated review here on the channel. I will try and link it. That fragrance was designed for the gents, but it is unisex. It is purely unisex. Now this one is supposed to be unisex, but let's see what we get because I am so curious about this one. Here we go. Ooh, look at that atomizer. Ooh. Oh, wow. Ooh, okay. This is giving me immediately 9 p.m. Rebel, but very intense. This is the type of fragrance that will put you on a chokehold for sure and not let go. Wow, this is really incredible, but let me share with you the notes. Okay, so for the notes here, we have at the top cardamom, nutmeg, and elemi. At the heart, we have pimento, lavender, and leather. And at the base, we have vanilla, patchouli, labdanum, and rock rose. Wow. But when I tell you, I can sniff the fragrance all over this room, and you know I just finished spraying those other 2 fragrances, so I can't wait to start working on this one and circle back with you and give you a review because, oh wow, this smells incredible. But I just love all of the 9 collection. Are you an AFNAN 9 collection lover like me? Again, 9 p.m. Rebel has been my favorite up till this moment, but I have a feeling that Elixir is going to take over for sure. All right, guys, so we have reached the end of today's video, and I hope that this was enjoyable for you. You know, I shared with you all of these fragrances, and of course, I will let you know if I do pick them up. You know, I'll either do a short with an unboxing letting you know that it's coming for a review on the channel very soon, or I will bring it for a first impression here on a Saturday morning Chatty Scent Corner. As always, thank you so much for hanging with me today. Again, thank you so much to our new fam members and the fam members that have been with me from the beginning. Thank you to all of you. As I tell you every Saturday, I want you to have not just a joyous and fun and incredible Saturday, but the entire weekend. Sending you much love and blessings. I will see you all in the next video.